Very good morning to all my dear students. Welcome to St. Anne's Public School Bagpat Online Economics Classes Part 10, Class 11th Commerce. As you know that we are working from our home. So my dear student, today we will discuss chapter number 2, Consumers Equilibrium, which is from Microeconomics book. As you know that in my previous video we have discussed what is the meaning of consumer equilibrium and what are the conditions of consumers equilibrium. But today we will discuss consumer equilibrium with the help of schedule and diagram. With the help of schedule means table and diagram. But see again, consumer if you suppose explain question is there, explain the consumers equilibrium, explain the consumers equilibrium in case of one commodity, explain the consumers equilibrium in case of one commodity. Then you will write first of all definition of consumer equilibrium, you will write definition of consumer equilibrium. Then after you will write two conditions of consumers equilibrium, two conditions of consumers equilibrium. First is marginal utility is equal to, marginal utility is equal to price paid for the commodity. It means that marginal utility must be equal to price paid for the commodity. See here, MUX means marginal utility of X commodity is equal to price paid for X commodity. Marginal utility of X commodity is equal to price paid for X commodity, means X represents here commodity, here X represents commodity. I hope it is clear. First condition is marginal utility is equal to price paid for the commodity. This is the first condition, this is the first condition. Suppose someone may ask from you, what is the condition of consumer equilibrium? What is the condition of consumer equilibrium? You will say that marginal utility must be equal to price paid for the commodity. See, all of you know that marginal utility, generally marginal utility is expressed in utils. Generally marginal utility is expressed in utils, and price is expressed in terms of money, but see here, both are equal. It means that here marginal utility is expressed in terms of money. Here marginal utility is expressed in terms of money because both are equal, means price is also expressed in terms of money. Marginal utility is expressed in terms of money, and price is expressed in terms of money also. So I hope all of you have understood why am I taking marginal utility in terms of money, because both are equal and both should be in money form. I hope it is clear. See, next, case 1. This is the first exception case of this condition. This is the first exception case of this condition. Means you know that consumer equilibrium means marginal utility is equal to price paid for commodity. But suppose if marginal utility is greater than price paid for commodity, what does it mean? It means that this is not a consumer equilibrium situation. You know that marginal utility represents benefit. And price represents cost. I hope it is clear. Means case 1 is marginal utility is greater than price paid for commodity. It means that we can say that benefit is greater than cost. Benefit means marginal utility, cost means price paid for commodity. I hope it is clear. See, but you know that what is consumer equilibrium condition? Marginal utility is equal to price, but here marginal utility is not equal to price. That's why we are saying this is not a consumer equilibrium situation. See, this is not a consumer equilibrium situation, and it also means that benefit is greater than cost. I hope all of you have understood this. So consumer will purchase because benefit is greater than cost, because benefit is greater than cost. So consumer will purchase more units of good X, more units of good X. You know that what is the law of diminishing marginal utility? Law of diminishing marginal utility states that as we consume more and more units of a commodity, then additional satisfaction means marginal utility goes on decreasing. Marginal utility goes on decreasing. Marginal utility means additional satisfaction goes on decreasing. We can say that as we consume more and more units of a commodity, then additional satisfaction means marginal utility goes on decreasing. See here, consumer will consume more units of good X, and it leads to decrease in mu of good X. We have discussed, what is the law of diminishing marginality. Again I am repeating, as we consume more and more units of a commodity, then marginal utility goes on decreasing, and it leads to decrease in mu of good X. Because decrease in mu of good X, it means that suppose take this rupee 20 and take this rupee 10, means rupee 20 is greater than rupee 10. It means that when consumer will purchase more units of good X, marginal utility goes on decreasing, means from 20 to 18, 18 to 15, 15 to 14, 14 to 12, 12 to 10. But see here, when mu becomes 10, when mu becomes 10, then consumer will get maximum satisfaction. We can say that consumer will be in equilibrium condition, because when mu becomes 10, marginal utility will be equal to price. Marginal will be equal to price. It means that decrease in mu of good X because of law of diminishing marginal utility. This process means mu goes on decreasing. This process means consumer will purchase more units of good X to decrease in mu. This process will continue till mu equals to price. When mu equals to price, consumer equilibrium will be there. I hope this first exception of this condition is clear. See next. Case second, if marginal utility is less than price paid for commodity. Marginal utility is less than price paid for commodity. It means that benefit is less than cost. Suppose take this rupee 10 and take this rupee 20. It means that benefit is less than cost. What does it mean? You know that mu is not equal to price. It means that this is not a consumer equilibrium situation, because we know that to become consumer equilibrium, or we can say to get consumer equilibrium condition, marginal utility is equal to price. Marginal utility should be equal to price, but here marginal utility is not equal to price. It means that we can say that this is not a consumer equilibrium situation. It also means that benefit is less than cost. So consumer will consume, or we can say consumer will purchase less units of good X, because benefit is less than cost. So consumer will purchase less units of good X, and it leads to increase in mu. Because suppose if we are saying that as we consume more and more units of a commodity, marginal utility goes on decreasing, then vice versa of this means as we consume less and less units of a commodity, then marginal utility goes on increasing. See here, this is the opposite case of this. See, so consumer will purchase less units of good X. See here, so consumer will purchase more units of good X, and see here, and it leads to increase in mu of good X. See here, it leads to decrease in mu of good X because of law of diminishing marginal utility. This process will continue till mu equals to price. When mu equals to price, we can say when mu becomes equal to price, then we will say that there will be consumer equilibrium situation. This is the second. This is another. We can say this is another exception case of this condition. exception case of this condition. I hope both of these exceptions are clear. See, first condition is clear, marginal utility is equal to price paid for X commodity. But what is the second condition? What is the second condition? See here, mu falls as consumption increases according to law of DMU. DMU means diminishing marginal utility. Diminishing marginal utility means, law of diminishing marginal utility means, as we consume more and more units of a commodity, an additional satisfaction means marginal utility goes on decreasing. See here, mu falls as consumption increasing according to law of DMU. I hope first condition is clear. Exception of this condition is also clear. See, next second condition is also clear. I hope all of you have understood theory portion of consumer's equilibrium. Suppose if you want to explain the concept of consumer's equilibrium in case of one commodity, then first of all you will write a definition. A definition of consumer equilibrium. What is the definition of consumer equilibrium? Means consumer equilibrium refer to the situation under which a consumer gets maximum satisfaction with limited income and he has no tendency to change his way of existing expenditure. So this is the definition of consumer equilibrium. Now after you will write conditions of consumer equilibrium. You will write conditions of consumer equilibrium. First condition is marginal utility is equal to price paid for the commodity, and you will write, then after you will write these two exceptions. First, MUX is greater than PX, and after MUX is less than PX. Now after you will write a second condition, MU false, or you can say MU must be false as consumption increases according to law of DMU. I hope it is clear. See, now we are going to discuss consumer equilibrium with the help of schedule and diagram. See here, now consumer equilibrium with the help of schedule and diagram. See this diagram, this table means this schedule. See, I've taken 6 units, 1 2 3 4 5 6. You can take 7 units, you can take 8 units, it's up to you, but I have taken only 6 units, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Always remember, you have to take price constant. Like suppose, see here, I have taken rupee 12. I have taken rupee 12 means 12 on first unit, 12 means, suppose you can take any value of price, but that value should be constant. Suppose if you are taking rupee 10, then all value should be 10. Means, suppose if you are taking 20, then price of all units should be 20. I hope it is clear. You will take price constant. You will take value of price in constant way. I hope it is clear. See, after this you will take value of marginal utility according to satisfaction, because you know that suppose X represents ice cream, to an ice cream. Suppose you know that satisfaction from first unit of ice cream will be greater than satisfaction from second unit of ice cream. That's why, see here, I have taken for first unit 24, and for 2 unit I have taken 18 units. Now for third 12 utils, 18 utils, 24 utils, then because we know that satisfaction from third unit of ice cream will be greater than satisfaction from fourth unit of ice cream. That's why I have taken here 6 utils, because 6 is less than 12. I hope it is clear. After this, on fifth ice cream, we can say from fifth ice cream satisfaction will be 0. Satisfaction will be 0. It means that I will not get satisfaction. Then after fifth unit 6. Suppose I consume 6 unit. It means that this will give negative result. Negative result means suppose I will suffer from cold, fever, means any type of negative result. I hope it is clear. See, value of marginal utility in utils. Here marginal utility is expressed in utils. Here marginal utility is expressed in utils, but you know that marginal utility is equal to, what is the condition of marginal utility? What is the condition of consumer equilibrium? Marginal utility is equal to price paid for the commodity. It means that price, here price is expressed in rupees, price is expressed in rupees, and marginal utility is expressed in utils. So they cannot be equal. They cannot be equal. It means that first of all you have to convert. You have to convert marginal utility of utils into marginal utility in terms of price. In terms of price. Then you will divide this marginal utility. Then you will divide this marginal utility by price, and price, or you know that price will be always equal to rupee 1. Will be always equal to rupee 1. Means 24 divided by 1 will remain 24. 18 divided by 1 will remain 18. 12 divided by 1 will remain 12. But see, this marginal utility is expressed in rupees because we have converted this marginal utility which is in utils into marginal utility in rupees. I hope this is clear. See, first condition, marginal utility is equal to price paid for X commodity, or which can say price paid for the commodity. See, here price is 12. See, marginal utility is 12, means they are equal. And we can say that at third unit of ice cream, consumer will be in equilibrium condition. You will take, suppose if you want to show consumer equilibrium at 4 units. Suppose if you want to show, don't cram it, only learn it. See, suppose if you want to show consumer equilibrium at fourth unit, then you will take different value. Suppose at 4 price is 12, then you will take price, you will take marginal utility as 12. You will take different value. Suppose put here 30, 25, 18 and put here 12. Why? Because here price is 12 and we want to show consumer equilibrium at 4 unit. Then we have to take marginal utility according to this value, because price is here, because here price is 12, then we have to take 12 here, because you want to show consumer equilibrium at 4th unit. Suppose if you want to show consumer equilibrium at 2nd unit, it means that you will put here 12. You will put here 12 here according to price, because price is 12. Here price is 12, means you will put, or you can say you will take value as a 12. I hope it is clear. See here. So consumer will be in equilibrium at 3rd unit. I hope this is clear. I hope all of you have understood how can we make this table. Suppose if you want to learn this table, how can we make? Let's take another table. to understand, or we can say to learn this table. How can we make this type of table to understand consumer equilibrium?